Okay. December 21st. I think it's Wednesday today, December 21st. So, yeah, an air alarm just started up. I'm walking home for lunch from the office. I thought I'd do a video about life. So, we finally have I think from the last video, we have a schedule for the blackouts. It's mostly holding. It's been reliable. I mean, we reliably get 8 hours of electricity, 4 hours at a time each day. We reliably don't get electricity 4 hours twice a day, so 8 hours a day it's blacked out. And then we have this maybe time, and the maybe time has been reliably 50-50. Sometimes half of the maybe time, and then the half is blacked out, or sometimes we get all maybe time or no maybe time. So they have these charts that they publish. I learned how to read some Ukrainian for the days of the week, and then everything else is color-coded. So it helps foreigners who only know less than 100 words or something, kind of like myself. One thing I saw in the news is Putin is talking about invading Moldova. I don't get how they let this stand. I mean, I've been advocating all along that America and NATO need to go right after Kaliningrad and this Transnistria country in Moldova. And what's more curious, and I'll drop an article about this in the comments below, is how is Transnistria getting supplied? There was an article in the New York Times that there's still roads open through NATO countries or through Romania or through Moldova that give them access to Transnistria, just like this road to Kaliningrad. This shit needs to be closed. I mean, the Russians are being assholes, or they invaded Ukraine. Why can't we be assholes back? I mean, the nuclear war thing cancels out, and they know it. They know if they do start nuclear war, we're going to win it. There's going to be more of us left than of them. If you just take out St. Petersburg and Moscow, you've pretty much destroyed the whole Russian civilization. They're not going to recover from that. Yeah, they have a few other cities like Kazan and Ufa and shit, but they're just going to all start fighting with each other once the main authority is gone. So yeah, that's something, I don't know, makes you go, why are they letting Transnistria even exist or Kaliningrad exist? And now Russia's talking about invading Moldova? They would have to do that from Transnistria. So NATO would just stand by and watch them supply Transnistria and stage an attack from there, which also puts Odessa at risk. This is we got that new B-21 bomber that can just make things go boom at night, and they would never even know it, where it came from. They could just say it was like a gas line explosion or something. It's so stealthy. The thing has a signature the size of a hummingbird. A radar signature of a hummingbird. It's impossible to detect it. So I don't know why they don't, but I would like to see the rhetoric instead of them doing something, that America sticks it to the Russians a little bit. And they are doing this with the Patriots. The Patriots are coming. I'm very happy about that. It's a very good missile system. And now I saw some stupid comment by Kim.com saying they're going to use $3 million missiles to stop $15,000 drones. The problem is not that simple. It's when those drones impact, right? They hit the electric grid. It ends up costing billions of dollars of damage in terms of lost economy, and of course rebuilding the infrastructure. So it's really you got a pretty good return on investment. If the U.S. sends those Patriots now, it's a lot less to rebuild later. Each of those $3 million will, save probably 500 or at least $500 million in damage and lost economy here in Ukraine. Ever since these blackouts have happened, we've really had to change our schedules. A lot of resources are getting diverted now to power up generators. Fuel prices are up. It's throwing everything out of whack. It's not I can say it'd been a lot worse. We could be like Kiev. I mean, here in Lviv, it's not that bad. But it's not ideal either. So the Patriots are going to be really good. They're very welcome here, and maybe the Ukrainians can develop this Patriot technology like the Israelis did and create the Ukrainian Iron Dome. So yeah, now we got Russia and Iran getting closer together. This can't happen either. The U.S. should just be sinking Iranian ships, and they should just send a message that this isn't going to stand. Keep provoking the human rights movements and everything in Iran, and get that government to flip. I'm wondering how people even will deal with that shit over there. And so, yeah, anyway, I got to cross the street here. That's the most dangerous thing we do in Lviv. With the power out, the traffic lights aren't working, people are texting while they're driving. So you got to be careful. Yeah, you have to be a little bit careful here. So, I'll show you when I'm getting closer to home. I found a hole through the fence. It cut my walk to work by like almost 8 or 9 minutes. So instead of becoming a 25-minute walk, now it's like a 15, 15-minute walk. Like 23 minutes I think it was taking before. So now I can come home for lunch and then go back to the office and go home. I decided to accept a new job from a Swedish company, a Stockholm company that's doing blockchain stuff, a little bit more closer to what I'm interested in, and more of a stronger leadership role than what I have now in EPAM. I really feel bad about having to leave EPAM. That really offered me a very good way forward, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, working in this company called Chroma Way in Sweden. And I'll still be here in Ukraine. I'm legally residing in Oslo and stuff, but I'm going to stay here in Ukraine. I think I have up to 2 years before I have to change my residency. So we'll see. We don't know. We don't know when the electricity, like how much more this electric grid can hold up, and what the Russians are going to throw at us next. And I'm not like these other bloggers on, like this Joe Lindsay and this guy doing St. Javelin and all this, like just painting this toxic positive picture that everything is going to be great. No, this is the fight of our life. And the winner might be, just like anyone who comes back from a war is going to be wounded. And the rebuilding of Ukraine is going to take a long time. It's going to be corrupt. That shit's not going to change. So you just have to have a realistic view. This is a long time. This is going to take a long time. Wars take a long time. And this is a world war. This is a clash between the Eastern and Western civilizations, between autocracy and democracy. And democracy has to get its shit together. They've gotten too liberal, and making it okay to be fat and out of shape. There was a reason why we had health standards, so we could field an army. And the democratic countries have lost their sense of patriotism, which is needed, for your army. Like Ukraine is giving us all a lesson in patriotism. So it's going to take a long time. Like I said, I think in the last video, or I think I said in a comment somewhere on Facebook, the Russians are doing the Iran-Iraq war strategy, using waves of humans to soak up all the expensive ammunition. So, there's 140 million Russians. Let's say half of them are male, that's 70 million. Half of them are between 15 and 65. They can just throw waves of them, and we use expensive ordnance to take them out. But they have tens of millions of people, and then we have to use all that. So it's not so easy that they just cross the border and we blow them up. It's costly, and it can affect elections and stuff. The economies in Europe are paying for all this, and they need to pay for all this, because if they don't, they all become Russia. But still, for the average person, doesn't comprehend this, and they can be easily manipulated by populist and nationalist politicians. So you have to have your eyes wide open about this. You can't suffer from toxic positivity that everything is going to be great. I think Ukraine is going to win this, but it's going to be coming at a cost, and the country will be wounded for a while, and it takes a long time, if not forever, to recover from the wounds. I mean, Eastern Europe is still recovering from the Soviet times. Almost 2 generations later, after the Berlin Wall fell, there's still a healing process going on, and this is no different. The whole world's going to change after this. Instead of rebuilding infrastructure, they're going to have to build up Ukraine's defenses, and that's where the money will go first. And then they're going to have to put up barriers between here and Russia, and they might have to re-engineer Russia itself. And let's say Russia collapses, that's going to eat a lot of money to stabilize it. So, because if Russia collapses, they got nuclear weapons, and that has to be secured. So it's a bit delusional. It's a bit of a fantasy to think this war is going to be over in 3 months and then everything is going to rebuild. No, this is just a new way of life for us now. We have to understand that it's going to take a long time. World War II took 4 years. It took 4 long years, and that was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Japan and Germany, and we're just now coming into the first year. So my mindset is for the long haul. We're eating different. We're eating the natural Ukrainian foods from the farms. We're off of processed food. We've cut back on meat. We're walking everywhere, trying to use as little gas. We don't even have a car anyway. So, but we're not using Uber, except only going to a doctor's office. And we're using the public transport so we can have gas and fuel for the army, that they get it. And we just have to take the life one day at a time. But it does get better, but slowly. It's like healing. Everything, it just takes a long time to recover. There's no quick injection for this, unless the U.S. got its shit together and started talking like Americans used to talk in the 1980s, that we can fuck anyone up, and we're the United States of America, one nation, under God, as they say, doing the Lord's work. Where does this Reagan talk go? Now the Republicans all want to work with the Russians. This is madness. I really, Donald Trump and all these people really disappointed me. They should be talking about how to dismantle Russia and dismember Russia and dismember their culture, and make it clear that when we come into power in the 20th, the Republican Congress, the Senate's still Democratic, but that they're most likely going to win in 2024, that this is not going to be something Russia should be celebrating. This is going to be the bringing back of the Reagan era. That's the way they should be talking. And that might get Russia to actually put its arms down, because they know what that means. We destroyed the Soviet Union and Afghanistan, but that took 8 years too. That took eight years of sending stingers and training and advisors and weapons. It took a long time to do it. So the mindset is we can't suffer from toxic positivity. We have to just live in reality and read history and understand what we're up against. We live this every day. I'm working in a Ukrainian company and living in a Ukrainian life, so, unlike a lot of these journalists who are funded from abroad and everything, and people that have the luxury of going back and forth in and out when things get hot, listen to us a little bit, help me get more followers. I'm open to giving interviews and telling her. I wanted to show you, so I follow these tracks to come back home, you know, and it is live. There are trains coming. You can't do this in the US or Europe, go walk on the tracks, but you know, when you're doing land nav in the military, you always look for tracks or power lines to follow. Here we got some nice Ukrainian engineering going on, so this is how I get my life more efficient, right? Engineering is all about building efficiency. So somebody engineered a doorway into the fence here. So this saves me, like I say, 8 minutes. 8 minutes to the office. I think, yeah, I'm home. It's roughly 15 minutes. Yeah, it's about 15 minutes from when I started the video. So, and I'm going a little slower because I had to talk. But I usually can even do this in 12. You know, if I'm doing, you know, if there's not all this ice on the roads, it even goes faster. So, yeah. So this is that's how we get home. That's our Ukrainian engineering, and that's something we still have to deal with in Ukraine. Is people, when they don't like the rules, they kind of make their own rules. That's kind of the beauty of living here. You don't even know what the hell's going to happen next or what people are going to do. So as you can see, people all kinds of jacked up ways. You know, they're parking where they're not supposed to be parking, pointing in the wrong direction. You know, this is Ukraine. You know, I mean, in Europe, you know, like Norway is like, in Norway, America, these are greatest countries in the world because they have institutions, they have processes, but it can get boring. It's like the hospital. Everything works nice in a hospital. Everything is safe and clean. You'll be taken care of, but you get bored. Like here, and why you should still move here is no 2 days are the same. You know, and people have been coming together here. I can say this thing about the war. People didn't turn on each other. A lot of people were expecting the civil unrest to be a factor, that, you know, when you don't have electricity and water and people are uncomfortable and the money, the inflation has been a killer here. People didn't turn on each other. The personal crime here is like almost non-existent. I'm not hearing about too much personal crime. And a lot of people have generators and stuff running. They're not even locking them. You know, they're not even locking them up or anything like that. So I can say, I mean, we're much closer with the neighbors now than we were before the war. You know, we have much more of a camaraderie and cooperation. So I think that'll be good for the new Ukraine that comes. You know, but anyway, that's all I got today. I got to go eat some lunch, get back to the office. I always come home and then walk back, you know, keep moving. So take care and bye-bye.